team.
Hello, Mike. Hello, Ted.
We're back.
2021.
Here we go.
That was an incredible tempo start.
I mean, we've got to bring the energy. We've got to bring the noise today. So
that's a very elegant little mug you've got there, Gibbo. I didn't.
Yeah, mug, cafetiere.
Oh. At 5 p.m. I'm not going to judge you. I'm going to judge you.
Decaf. Thank you.
Decaf. Oh,
yeah, just a little, like enough for 1.5 cups to get me through. Not that I need to get you through. But.
I was going to say, surely we're enough for you to get through this. Surely.
Well, yeah, but it's a nice time for a hot drink on a cold day.
Absolutely. I've actually started microwaving my protein shakes. I've got this new one which is like very cinnamony flavor and it actually tastes like Christmas. So that's what I'm doing. I'm microwaving it.
Sure. We'll give that a go. Maybe.
Yep.
I'm not convinced, but I guess it. Well, if you got a hot chocolate, if you got a chocolate protein shake, it's hot chocolate.
Yeah.
There's going to be melted shakers all up and down the country now.
Yeah, you have to have strong plastic. That's true. Or you put it in a normal glass beforehand.
Sport 101 takes no responsibility for people melting their protein shake.
Disclaimer.
Take the spring out. Don't take the spring out, otherwise your microwave will go bang. Anyway, we digress. Tonight's show. Tonight's show, we are talking about Lockdown 3.0 and all the places where you guys can get stuff to keep yourself entertained, fit, and get your skills up together as well, whilst we are all back in lockdown. So Gibbo's going to be talking about coaches and coaches, how you're going to stay entertained and hopefully still learning. I'm going to talk about goalies for a little bit, and Tess is going to talk about outfielders, and we've got a couple of little bonus bits at the end just to tie in as well. So to get started then, Mr. Gibson, what are coaches going to do during Lockdown 3.0 and where are they going to find information?
Yeah, I've got like 3. I sent you 3 things earlier that we'll go through with everyone shortly. But I guess my first bit of advice would be from my experiences, reflect on particularly the first lockdown, was know why you're doing something as a coach, and don't just do the sign-ups and say, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and do the, 8-hour day, 10-hour day at your desk. So I guess I went into sort of information overload because in a very sporting sense, people offered their time and stuff for free during the first lockdown, and you're almost overwhelmed with all these opportunities. But I guess the big thing I'd learned is know why you're doing something and have a purpose for signing up. So don't overwhelm yourself. Know what you want before you go looking would be my first bit of advice. But there's 3 things that I'm going to tip up, and you're going to put them in the show notes. Are you, Mike?
Yeah, I'm going to put some little images up so people can have a look, and we'll put it all in. We'll put it in the comments and stuff later on after the show as well. So we'll share all the links and stuff there.
Nice. So these are just places that I kind of keep coming back to, and I've had use sort of beyond an initial kind of engagement and that was interesting moment. So the things that I keep kind of going back to as a reference. So the first one would be UK Coaching. So follow their Twitter handle. That's just an example of some of the stuff that they put out. So they're full of infographics, which are very much applicable. And I actually think that their members space is good value as well, because that gets you access to something called Connected Coaches, which has a lot of different threads and message boards, and you can pick and choose what you're interested in, engage with people on there, and like the practical stuff's covered as well. So if you need to do a safeguard or a first aid qualification, I think you can go through them and get it all booked through them. So really practical resource for coaches, and like the community aspect's getting better and better all the time. The more people that join, the better it gets. And I guess their online content was good during the last lockdown. I'm actually on a call tonight at 8:00 with them. We've got someone from Australia talking about a research paper that's been sent out. So yeah, some really good stuff, and met some cool people. I've not physically met them, but I feel like I know them now from like months of online chat. So yes, I'd recommend them. And I keep going back to there. The second one's a podcast, and it's I don't know if I mentioned it on this before, but I definitely have mentioned it to other people before. And that's Dan Abraham's The Sports Psych Show. Oh, that's the next one. That's Coach's voice. That's all right. There
Well,
we go. So,
Oh yeah, this one's good.
yeah. So it's a podcast that Dan's a sports psych, worked in golf and football and a number of different settings. But his guests that he has on, he always seems to get a lot of insight out of his guests, and he's a good host because he's so knowledgeable about the subject matter himself. And it's not just about psych really. Like there's lots and lots of different things covered. There's lots of stuff about teaching, learning. He has coaches on, and it's one that I find myself sending to players quite a lot. So yeah, I go back there, and that's been running for maybe 3 years. So there's tons of episodes to work through if you've not started on it already, and it's very varied. And then the last one,
found this one.
Yeah. So Coach's Voice. So it's mainly, it's exclusively a football resource actually, but then there is some free stuff, and there is a paid version the app's very neat as well. But I guess what you get from this would be the live events are very good. That's an example of one that ran yesterday with the Cowley brothers. They recently did a live event with Ralf Rangnick, who's a pretty prolific German coach, big thinker of the game. And if you're a coach who likes to look at planning and likes to try and develop the planning, that's where they're really strong as a resource. So, and there is a lot of transfer from a planning perspective from football to hockey and other invasion games. So, yeah, looking at they have interviews. There's the Mourinho interview, which is quite good. There's a lot of stuff that's just interesting, and then there's a lot of stuff that's useful as well. So, quite a cool place to go and check out some stuff. But it is all football, and if you want to apply it to hockey, then get creative. But it is transferable.
The stuff that the quite a lot of hockey, the football resources can be used for hockey. I found that sort of going online. So I came across the term total football when I was reading Stillness and Speed by Dennis Bergkamp. I don't know why I picked it out. Well, I do know why. It's because Darren Cheeseman was reading it, so I was like, oh, okay, I should probably read it. But he was talking about total football, and then I looked up what it was, and it's literally the concept of hockey that I would most like to play. And so I ended up just trolling through loads of football resources on YouTube, trying to understand the concepts. And it's all, other than the offside rule, it's all pretty much.
If you look quite hard, there is a lot of people taking inspiration from hockey, or taking Van Gaal likes hockey from a pressing perspective. He thinks hockey will follow. Bielsa went to watch you guys play Chile when did you play Chile about 18 months ago? Yeah, Marcelo Bielsa went. He used to manage the Chile football team, and he went to watch that because he's interested tactically. Hornstein grew up in football and hockey, and I think Marcus Weiss did as well. Marcus Weiss coached Germany to a gold medal, and I think he worked for the DFB, which is the World Football Federation as well. So yeah, there's more crossover than you think from a tactical perspective for sure. Yeah.
And in all other sports, I remember being at under-16s, and our coach brought up a video of basketball and was talking about the 3-second rule or something that's in the D, and he was talking about that's how you should work as a forward, constantly rotating. That was quite cool.
I think handball transfers really well to high line and high line defense.
Really good.
So the movement and timing involved in there, high transfer versus deep defense, handball's quite a good study.
That's really
you get, by all means, look at other sports and get creative if you've got the time in this period, for sure.
Yeah, we're all going to have a bit more of that, that's for sure. I think the other thing from a coach's point of view is we were talking about this in our sort of show prep the other day, and it was the Coaches Playbook, which is on Netflix.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that. It's so good. I think Gibbo, you and I share the passion for the Doc Rivers one.
Oh yeah, I'm 3 or 4 watches into that, and I've clipped it. I've got things that I use in team sessions and workshops. It's brilliant. But everything he says, you're on the edge of your seat. It's that sort of insightful. He's brilliant.
It's so good. I've definitely watched it 4 or 5 times. It's so good. Right. So goalkeepers. For me, I think there's a couple of real good places to go for goalkeeper stuff. Obviously, going to start with friends and partners of Sport 101. So we're going to go Fortitude, because it'd be rude not to. not only have they got like some really good podcasts going on their YouTube channel, they've also got, if you scroll through a little bit, they've got some really good like home workout stuff and some footwork things and some coordination stuff, some goalkeeper specific S&C. So there's loads of really good content on there. And I know Tom's looking to do a little bit more with Lockdown 3.0. So there's some really good content on there for keepers. You've also got Iconic goalies. So Iconic run in Germany with Jimmy Lewis, ex-GB number one, and I think he was GB number one.
I think he was it for a period,
yeah, he was phenomenal. Just some fun content on there. Obviously based out in Germany, so they got some other stuff going there. But some really like, I like watching goalies from other nations train. Just seeing like the different styles and how they move and how their hands are and everything else. So yeah, really good to kind of see some different stuff as well. So I quite like what they're putting out at the moment. And finally, this one kind of moves between goalies and outfielders. So it's a strength and conditioning company, Locker 27. If you go to their stories, they've got, as you can see on here, it's got like week 12, week 11, week 10, like they've got a full 12-week S&C program, which doesn't require anything. So you can go through that just to keep yourself ticking over. Because I think one of the things that I certainly found in the last lockdowns is I end up just sitting in front of my laptop the whole time. And actually, we need to, like you said earlier, Gibbo, we've got to be so careful not to overcook it in front of our laptops, and we need to stay mobile. We need to make sure, even if it's just a daily walk or something like that, just to clear your head, get out of the house. But yeah, things like Locker and there are others as well. Yeah, there's plenty of like GB players putting stuff on their Instagrams and like stuff like that as well. So I think make sure that you're keeping up to date on that sort of stuff. And also when you're watching stuff as a goalkeeper, like I said, look at the different styles and actually have a think back to like what is your style and how can you maybe like take different bits from different goalies, because that's one thing I love doing, like watching goalies, like, okay, well, I really like that aspect or not that aspect, and actually how does that fit into my game? Because if you think of someone like, you know, Maddie, her like really explosive style versus someone like Ollie Payne, who we spoke about in the last show, totally different styles, but both really quality goalies. So actually, what can you pull when you're watching it through, and try and have a real good eye for it as well. Yeah, and just keep trying to take on as much information as possible, and do some coordination stuff like juggling. I can't juggle. I wish I could. Maybe I'll pick it up. Maybe I'll learn. But I think that's a really good thing for keepers, just to kind of keep their hand-eye and stuff in as well. So yeah, that's kind of where I'd sit with that.
Yeah, it's funny because I think lockdown you can take time to develop those other things like the coordination, like reaction speed. So you can't really, sometimes in training you don't have that opportunity. I remember watching Maddie and Amy Tennant do this bizarre like goalie training thing. Okay, so they're just in the gym and they have a timer and it's on like a random beat timer. So when it beeps, you have to get up from like lying down in a goalie position as quickly as you can into your ready position. And they're just in fits of laughter the whole time, but it's so serious and it's so competitive. So like maybe this will be my next video, but when you literally you can just like grab a housemate or a brother or sister or someone and play them so you can get up quick enough, because they look like they were having the time of their lives.
Yeah, their training always looks so much fun.
Yeah, honestly, all the slides and stuff. Or she does this one which is like, well, she calls it a swivel save, and I invented the swivel shot from it, but she literally is just like keeps going left to right, like pretending to save, which is quite fun. You just got to use your
like legs go left, hands go right, then you swivel back the other way.
Yeah, it's almost like a core exercise.
Yeah.
Old school trampolining, swivel hips kind of motion.
I remember they put it all in the outfield players programs, as I'm pretty sure as a joke, because Maddie came in and she saw us all like trying to do this this movement, and like I think I ended up on her story or something. I don't know. It was not a good look, but it's quite fun.
That's quality.
Had a message to ask how you are, Tess, but they've called you. This person has called you the Tessinator. So,
oh my gosh!
Yeah, I messaged Andy Bradshaw.
Oh, of course, it's Andy Bradshaw.
Giving UK Coaching a nice shout out, because I obviously works for them. He's a senior coach developer, and his message back was, "Thanks for that. How is the Tessinator?"
Thank you, Andy. That's very kind.
Oh, is that your name now? Are we going to change it to the bottom, Mike? Tessinator.
Yeah, I'm sure we can do that.
That was he named me the Tessinator in my under 18 year. And when I left to go and join the under 21s, he made me a video. Oh wow, okay, right. When I left, he made me a video called the Tessinator, with highlights.
Oh, brilliant.
So, very kind. Wow. Okay, alligator. That's
doing it.
for the vibes, isn't it? Or like Terminator. I don't know, depending on the day, I guess.
There are working names to have, I guess. Who's threatening forward. So, right, Tess, talk to me about outfielder players. What's going on in the world there?
So much you can do as an outfielder. And I think the first one is just look up #field hockey on Instagram and click on the tags, and then you can literally just go into a wormhole of hockey. Now, I wouldn't recommend that all the time, but it's quite fun if you're like missing hockey. But there are a few places that I really recommend going to. So the first one's Hockey Sense, and Mike will put up their page, but they've got Spanish in their bio, so don't be worried. But it's incredible videos that have been sort of, they're like, it's international hockey, and then you pause and they'll drop down like arrows and stuff and show you different types of skills or concepts like 2v1, give and go, pressing, that sort of stuff. So Hockey Sense, awesome. I may have not sent it to Mike, so that's fine.
I can't find it, but that's fine. That's right. We'll add it later.
And the second one, so that's sort of like if you want to go to tactical play, sort of skill stuff that you can do at home, like Alpha Hockey, Boss Hockey, they sort of repost, which is quite fun. To be honest, like if you look up field hockey stuff, like Team Street Hockey, I really like that. I didn't actually send that to Mike, but I like that one. But then if you want a bit of jokey style, then I think it's NMFH is actually hilarious.
It's so good.
I actually followed him back after this, so he's so funny, and just kind of, you know how there's so much niche chat that goes on in hockey. There's like so much niche stuff. He kind of sums it up really nicely, like subbing, for example, when you have that one person who never wants to sub off, when you have the team halftime chats and they're like scribbling on like a Picasso artwork, and everyone's sitting there like, okay, what's going on?
I didn't know. I'll have to find his page now, but someone shared him, the one where the coach is saying count the balls out and there's one missing, and he sends everyone back out like,
oh yeah,
one number of balls.
That's the guy. Yeah.
Like, at least twice a week that happens to me.
Yeah.
One shot.
Oh yeah, you just got to walk around the edge.
Yeah,
you got to pretend at least you're looking.
Yeah.
It's like, let me just go and check in my bag, sort of thing. It's hilarious. But yeah, I mean, there are other things, like other GB players have put on some of the men's team are doing some like hockey hit workout style stuff. I'm doing free solo hockey, which is going to come out for a year. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Wow. I just released the Hello Again video. So we'll be doing some more stuff for lockdown 3, so that's pretty exciting. But then I wanted to talk a little bit about like the wholesome hockey player that I've just sort of trademarked calling. So I'd go to YouTube and I'd watch, this is genuinely what I do anyway, go and watch some of the international matches rather than watching all the best moments and stuff like that. See how play builds up. Pick a player and just watch their movement, because quite often you can get quite ball focused. But what I tended to do, like when I was trying to learn how to be a better forward, I sort of watched the movement patterns of, you know, Alex Danson, Sophie Bray, the top forwards, to see how they move when they're not on the ball, to create space and that sort of stuff. Like S leads, those sort of things. And then if you watch it on like your phone or something, then you can screen record, or an iPad or something. And so then you can like go back. And so I've literally got hours and hours of video.
You can screen record.
I like that. Huh?
You can screen record on your laptop too.
I'm not quite that techie yet. QuickTime. Okay. Yeah.
QuickTime. For those, I'm going to talk you through it if you're bored. QuickTime. File new, screen recording, and then you just drag around the area you want to record. Dead easy.
I did not know that.
Right. Oh. Well, I'll do that. Excellent.
Yeah. No worries.
And yeah, sometimes I watch and I will have one specific question, like I just want to see how this person tackles or something like that. But I also look at men's hockey and women's hockey, so both of them. And I really recommend, it doesn't matter what gender you are, because the hockey, both sides have slightly different styles. So the way that the Belgian men play, I just love to watch, because that's the kind of the low down, quick movement sort of style that I kind of want to emulate. So yeah, but then the wholesome hockey player, you know, gotta think about like, what are the other things that you're missing about hockey? And it's not always the stick and ball stuff. It's the team aspects. It's the sort of collaboration. So if you can try and get that sort of element at maybe once a week, maybe you have a Zoom call with your team, doing like a little workout, or so EG did a baking thing, which was quite fun. You know, like see if you can reconnect with people. Especially because the season definitely will pick up again, and you don't want to have lost time seeing each other. So those are probably my few words of advice.
Yeah, and sort of going back to what we were talking about in the show prep, it's like what stimulates you, like what are you missing right now, and how do you go and find that? So you talked about Team Zoom. So if you're missing people, like get on a Team Zoom or something like that. If it's the fitness side that you love and that's the bit that you're missing, like there's so much, there are so many resources and everything out there. Or if it's the competitive side, like can you set somebody a challenge? So can you know, if I was on the same team as Tess, I'd be like, right, let's have maybe a push-up challenge or chin-up challenge or something like that. Like compete with somebody. So if you're a hyper competitive person, which we all are a little bit, like find someone and set some challenges, and having a training buddy I think really helps as well. Like don't be on your...
Not to say EG too many times, Gibbo, but at EG we have we've got it has to be it's the weekly joke. It's the weekly joke. What we did was split into groups. Probably this may not have been the right way, but we split into groups based on age. So you kind of I don't know. And some people were probably not in their age category, but anyway, we split into groups, and then we had a lead person for each group, and then we just put our workouts on the group, and it's just really quite nice. You get good sort of team morale boost, really. So I recommend that.
Yeah, and also having things like, if you've got a Team Strava account, set yourself a team challenge maybe. So can you know, do 100K in a month or something like that as a team, which should be relatively manageable. If, you know, as a squad, that's not too bad. Or 100K a week or whatever. Can you find different ways and different apps to get him, you know, to get everybody working together? If anybody's got any good ones, like share them with us, because we want to like find out stuff. We don't know everything by any means. So if there's somebody listening and they've got a good app, tag us in it, tag us, share us at the app, and then we'll have a look and have a go as well. So,
well, who's your go-to sort of fitness influencer on Instagram? Who's putting out the best stuff for free? That'd be good as well. Have you seen anybody?
So there's a guy at the Marlow Hockey Club, my lifestyle coach, guy called Lewis Goodman, who does some really good, like he does actually a lot of mobility stuff as well. So he's a specialist in what he does, and he actually works a lot on like making sure like you've got good hip mobility, lower back mobility, all those sorts of things. So you're really looking after your body, not just getting big and getting strong. So I think he's really, really good and worth a follow. So that's my lifestyle coach. Blocker 27 as well. Like I already said about them, I think they're quality. And there's somebody else. If you go, is it Jules Whiting, who's at Beeson Hockey Club? She's started doing a load of home workouts and stuff. One of the Welsh seniors, well worth a follow on Instagram and TikTok as well. So they'd be my kind of three. Tess, have you got any of the GB girls who are putting out some stuff, or anybody else that you know?
No, that's that. I've sort of had a look at those guys too. I like, if you look at some other like hockey players, like Durkee Chamberlain does her own Instagram stuff, so that's quite cool. But you can sort of find random people. I quite like Yoga with Adrienne as well. I know she's like massive, but on YouTube, all free classes and like mind, body, health. I really, really enjoy them. So I would recommend, not just the fitness ones, but the yoga style as well.
Yeah, do like yoga. It does make me feel so much better after I've done it.
You don't want to do it before you do it, and then 10 minutes in, you're like, oh, I'm glad I did it. Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, this is why I'm doing it, because my body is.
For some reason, the whole lot sort of like getting down on the ground is, I don't know. It's just for me, it does take a bit of willpower to actually get down. Yeah.
Nothing captures the aging process quite like yoga, to be fair. Like the creaking and the cracking that goes into it. Jesus. Yeah.
My body.
I used to be able to do this.
How about you, Gibbo? Any guys that
I'm going to give two. There's two, one Loughborough, one ex-Loughborough that I know do it. So there's Maddie Pierce, does Maddie.pt. She puts some good stuff out for free. And sort of her training journey and like other bits that are interesting as well. And actually, Mads had to isolate and did a return to play from COVID. So actually that's quite good for people that are getting over the hump with that, when they're allowed to do your return, when you are allowed to exercise, doing a proper return to play. So she kind of charted all that journey, which is great. And there's an ex-Loughborough girl who graduated a couple of years ago called Sophie Cox. She has SOS Fitness on Insta. And I think the story there is one of the girls was saying that she had to change jobs, or she lost a job during the first lockdown, and she started this, and it appears to go pretty well. So yeah, definitely worth a follow. Looks like she puts out some good stuff. So Maddie.pt and SOS Fitness, both on Instagram.
Nice. Well, we'll make sure we probably, if you share them in Twitter afterwards, Gibbo, and everything else, that'd be good to share that out. I've finally got two final shout outs. One not very serious and one serious one. Firstly, big shout out to Sam Ward and the guys at Blind Spot. Just really good clothing. This was not a freebie. I did purchase at full price. But really, really cool in the fact that they're not only trying to, obviously with after Sam's injury and everything else, trying to look at other avenues and stuff as well as his hockey. And this is, I think there's going to be some other really cool things to follow on that. Also, just notice followers, almost 101. I like that.
See it everywhere. But Mike, explain to us why you actually wanted to get one. Let's see it. He just wanted, there it is. Look at those signatures.
I wanted Sam Ward's signature. That's what I wanted. I just wanted an autograph. That's all I wanted, really.
That's what you get when you get one. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's a really nice little touch. Yeah, and they're going to do a lot more like outside of the clothing range later. So yeah, definitely watch the space on that. And the final one for me is Young Minds. A lot of people are going to find lockdown 3.0 pretty tough, particularly young people. And Sport 101 is supporting Young Minds as a charity. So there'll be a donation for every booking, for everything that we do. Will go into Young Minds to support this amazing charity. And yeah, there's some really nice bits on there to have a read through. So if there's stuff that you're struggling with or whatever, you can reach out to them through a load of different ways. And they've got some really nice posts and stuff as well, just to kind of help people who are struggling at the moment, because actually it's really hard. And I think it's okay to feel whatever emotion you're feeling. So if you're feeling good, allow yourself to feel good. Don't feel guilty for it. If you feel sad or angry or whatever, allow yourself to have that space and then move through it. And also pick up the phone to people. Like, we're all going to find it hard at some point. Unfortunately, I get to chat with you lovely people every week. So that's a real highlight for me and my week. But other people need to find their, just pick up the phone. Like, everyone's around at the moment. So find a way to reach out and be there for somebody else, or find somebody who you need to be there for you. So I think that would be my final piece from this evening. Anything else from you guys before we finish up?
Nothing from me, Mike. All good.
Yeah, you hit it on the nail just then. Yeah. Just reach out if anyone needs anything.
Cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for this evening. It's been loads of fun. I've absolutely loved it. Next week, we will be back and we're going to be talking a little bit more about sports psych next week for players and for coaches. We're going to be talking about Tess going into isolation, warm weather trip, and all sorts. So we can't wait to see you guys next week, and yeah, have a cracking weekend. See you all next week.
Bye all.
Bye. Bye.